Hello and welcome to Sujit Talks. My name is Sujit Pillai, registered migration agent specializing in ACS migration skills assessments. This video, ACS skills assessment for Australia PR Q&A 2026 episode 6, provides answers to some of the questions asked in my Facebook group ACS skills assessment for Australia PR. You can visit the group at facebook.com/groups/ACS for PR to post questions. For specific immigration advice, you could go to sujittalks.au and schedule a discovery session with me to discuss your requirements and about my professional services. So we begin with the question number one. It's about someone who is waiting for their approval since August 2025. This is an unusual case. This was posted on 4th Feb and not sure what happened there with this applicant, if they got the result or not. But on 4th of Feb, this applicant said applied through consultant in August 2025 and they're still waiting to receive a response from ACS. So this is not usual case scenario. Usually we are getting results in about 3 weeks for decision ready application where there is no additional documents required message from ACS and they have taken a decision based on what was provided. And it could sometimes be even quicker than that. And sometimes it could be 1 month or 2 months, but 6 months is a lot of time. So don't get scared by this. It won't happen to everyone. Question number 2. This is about an applicant who applied on 5th of December 2025 and was asked to provide further documentation. And the deadline was 30th of Jan 2026 last month. And they did reply. And now they're asking how long is it going to take. So this was posted on 13th of Feb. Not sure what happened there as well. Usually, if they have already decided to take a decision and they're just waiting to see some documents to double check, you could get the results straight away after you provide the documents, and if the case officer is available you could get it straight away, sometimes the very next day. But if you're back in the queue and if they're still doing some other verification and still didn't pass the quality assurance, or for some other reason due to the volume of the cases that they have, it could take a while, but no one actually knows how long it takes. Again, you got to go back and see the processing time overall. So usually it's 3 weeks, but if there is an additional document required, probably you could give another 3 weeks. But like I said, it could happen the very next minute sometimes. So this was posted on 13th of Feb, which means that they've been waiting for 2 weeks. So it's interesting to see the applicant if they've got an update, and they'll update us in the group ACS Skills Assessment for Australia PR on Facebook. Third question is about an additional document required message. So this is what an applicant got. ACS apparently asked for three things. One is to list all the projects. Two is to list the tools and technologies along with KPIs. And then three is the scope of a programmer in a printing company. If you look at the third point, that is the most important question they have asked, which is to prove why a printing company needs a programmer. Not all the printing companies need a programmer, so it's very important to justify the scope of the role. So it is not just a reference letter that ACS looks at. As you can tell from here, ACS did mention that based on the broad duties listed in the reference letters from your employer, which means apparently employer must have written a lot of roles for the employee. And ACS is not buying that evidence because it is doubting the need of a programmer in a printing company. So there are various ICT companies as well, which predominantly hire ICT professionals as well as others. And not always do they need a programmer. Now we are talking about a non-ICT company who is needing a programmer. So it really depends on the scope of the role as well as the company profile. How big is this printing company? Is it really big that it has its own programming team or in-house development? And what are the services and products? All these things have to be understood clearly before applying. So if you've already applied and you got this additional document required, if you've got the truthful information and you can explain it nicely and justify all the things related to the scope as well as listing some projects. ACS actually asks all the projects completed by the applicant. So it's an enormous task to do all that. If the applicant is doing a lot of projects, if it's only one project, then they have to write about the project. Tools and technologies are another thing. They want to see what are the tools and technologies that the applicant is using to do their daily job. So the answer to this question, you cannot suggest what to list because it depends on applicant to applicant and case by case. So someone who has attended this request cannot guide the other person saying that they have listed these projects. It's not that you copy paste and change the wording or rephrase the sentences and put those projects, because they are not your projects and they are not your tools and technologies. Basically, this is a question for the employer mainly, and they would understand if they have given the right information in the reference letter or wrong information. If they gave the right information, the employer should be able to provide all these documents. Question number 4. It's about expiry and whether the applicants have to pay again for a new application or there is a way to extend. They definitely have to pay for the new application because there is nothing called a renewal or an extension of the assessment, whether they have previously applied or not, whether their assessment has expired or not. So it's the same fee. You got to do a new application and there is no way to extend at this point. The final question in this video, question number 5, it's about if there is a new skills assessment result, will that make the previously obtained skills assessment invalid? Again, the previous one is still not expired. Or can it be used for 186D? So if it's not expired, it is still valid if it was done under a different occupation and the new one is done under a different occupation, or the new one has got more employment assist or whatever is the reason, as long as there is no misleading or bogus information submitted to ACS in the new result, and the new result is a refusal or unsuitable outcome due to the misleading information or any other reason which might make ACS think about the previous results as well and also think about the future results as well. Then you got to ask ACS if the previous one is still valid or not. But if all those things do not apply and it's a straightforward thing where you've got a previously approved result and then you went for another result for another reason, not limited to a different occupation, then you could use two skills assessment results. Unless ACS is saying that you can't use this one or the previous one, unless there is a ban placed on your applications, past, present, and future, I don't think there should be any problem. And ACS themselves do not make the previously obtained results as invalid when they are not expired. This concludes the video. Thank you for watching. For specific immigration advice or assistance concerning the ACS Migration Skills Assessment, please visit my website sujittalks.au and schedule a free discovery session. For general information, subscribe to Sujit Talks on YouTube and click the bell icon to receive notifications. Stay tuned for more. My name is Sujit Pilla, a registered migration agent specializing in ACS Migration Skills Assessments.